Happy Monday, everybody. It's Erica back with my third Facebook Live of 2018. So I hope everyone is having a fabulous post-Super Bowl Monday. And I just wanted to follow up. So the last couple of videos that I've done have involved asking yourself larger, more expansive questions like, what would you love? And then I kind of backtracked a little bit last week to talk about finding out what you would love through the two growth signals that the universe sends us, our longings and our discontents. So I'm not sure, I did get some feedback from you guys about some of the things that you're discontent with and something that you would love to create for 2018. So I really appreciate the feedback, and it's always great to hear from you. If, like I said in our first video, if we're not growing, we're dying. So having goals and dreams and really getting in touch with what you would love to create for your life, I think it helps to know that you're in alignment with your soul's purpose. So once you've actually made, ask yourself the question, what would I love? And once you kind of come up with a little bit more of an answer for that question, by listening to the things that you're discontent with or the things that you would love to change or things that you would love to bring into your life, the next step, once you get kind of a clear idea of what you would love for your life and what you would really like to create, is making a decision for it. And that might sound simple, but surprisingly enough, this is where most people get stuck. So we can say, oh, I would love for this to happen, or oh, I would love to be in the relationship of my dreams, or I would love to start my own business, or I would love to travel the world and see all these different countries. But if you actually don't make a decision for what you would love, then nothing will change. So I have an example of this. I think there are always decision moments in our lives, but I'll give you an example from my personal experience. Back in 2006, I had been doing triathlons, and I kind of started to consider the idea of doing an Ironman. And I had done a half Ironman, a couple of half Ironmans, and really enjoyed that distance, but I wasn't sure how it would be physically or emotionally and mentally possible for me to do a full Ironman. And I don't know if any of you guys are endurance athletes out there. You probably know that in order to do an Ironman, you actually have to sign up the year before you're going to do it. And so you have to make the decision. And the entry fee is not really anything to sneeze at. It's pretty significant. And the training program is about 9 months. So you kind of need the whole year. So I'm saying this to say, without making a decision, yes, I'm going to do the Ironman. And while you say, yes, I'm going to do the Ironman, if it's your first Ironman, or for me, when it was my first, I was saying, I don't know how this is all going to come together. I don't know how I'm possibly going to be able to swim 2.4 miles, ride my bike 112 miles, and then run a full marathon at the end. I don't know how that's going to all happen, and I don't know, my body's never done that before. So there were a lot of questions that I had around how it was going to be possible. And this is where I want to go back to making the decision. You make a decision for what it is you would love in the absence of knowing all of the steps and how it's all going to work out. So my mentor has a great quote where she says that, goals are something that you kind of know how to get to. A dream is something that you need help from a higher power in creating. And so I honestly felt like the Ironman for me was something that I needed help from a higher power in creating, because I had no idea how I was going to be able to do that. So the 3 power moves 2018 to actually bring your purpose into center stage and help you to live a purpose-driven life are to ask yourself the more expansive question, what would I love? And take a look when you're asking yourself that question at the 2 things that that the universe gives us for growth signals, your longings and your discontents. What would you love to have more of? What would you love to have less of? And where is your satisfaction tank? Not really 100% full. And then finally, you make a decision. Yes, this is what I would love for my life. And then once you make the decision, you start to keep your eyes open to all of the resources, opportunities, people, material assistance that will come to your aid to kind of help in fulfilling the decision. And the decision should be something that you get excited about. It should be something that's life-giving for you. If it feels like it's contractive or something that feels like, ugh, then you may not want it. But I'm actually going to talk to you next week, and it's going to be a little bit later in the week next week because I am going to be traveling around. But I'll talk with you next week in terms of how to tease out whether or not something is really life-sustaining or if it's the voice of fear trying to keep you stuck from moving in the direction of a life that you would love. So this week, you've gotten clarity on your what would you love question. You've come up with an idea and an answer for that. You've listened to your longings and your discontents to help come up with the answer. And this week, it's all about making the decision. If this is something you would love, then you decide. Say, this is what I'm doing. And you maybe write it down. And then I would infuse it with a little bit more action too. I would write down a baby step that you can take in the direction of turning that into the landscape of your reality. So, and again, with the example of the Ironman, you know, I wrote down, I'm going to do an Ironman next year. And then the baby step that I took was I'm going to look at training programs because I did not know where to start. So a baby step doesn't need to be anything big. It's a baby step, and that's why it's called baby. And it's just important to know that every little baby step that you take will take you to the top of Mount Everest if you wanted it to. So make a decision this week for what you would love and make it a great week. And then I'll come back next week to navigating any barriers to your decision and looking at how to distinguish the voice of fear from just the unknown. I think that's a really important question. So I hope everyone's having a great Monday, and I will look forward to hearing from you. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and feel free to send me private messages for comments or type some comments next to the video. Hope everyone's having a great afternoon. Bye-bye.